Please listen carefully. I'm outside the Commandery in Worcester. Now this is the Civil War Museum that's in Worcester, and it's well worth a visit because we've just been inside and it's great. But we wanted to start here because in Worcester in October 1644 the Grand Jury put a petition forward to the Governor of Worcester and in calling for an end to the plunder and violence by the soldiers, and it was sort of set up so that if they did plunder and give injustice, they could put justice upon them. But it was the precursor to the Clubmen Woodbury Declaration of 1645, which we will go into later because we're going up to Woodbury Hill and we'll do a little bit of filming from there. But at the moment, there's a canal boat coming through the canal. It's beautiful. We're outside the Commandery, and well, worth a visit.
Well, and we're just going to have a quick look around the cathedral, aren't we?
Quick look around the cathedral and then put on our hiking boots, and then we need to get up another ancient hill fall.
I know, we haven't walked up a hill for at least, I don't know, a week?
A week at least. But there you go. Join us for the Woodbury Declaration on the top of that ancient hill fort later on.
And we can just watch the canal boat go.
Yeah, I'll step aside.
We can give them away if we go.
Gathered the afternoon into my glass.
Right, here we are. We've left the Commandery in Worcester, where we talked about the declaration there to the Governor, and we're on Woodbury Hill. And as you can see, it's another hill fort. This is where the Clubmen met in 1645, but we're going to head up here and take a closer look at the top of the hill when we get there, because there's meant to be a messaging board up there with the Clubmen mentioned on it. That's what I've heard anyway, but we'll go and check it out and follow me.
And assembled a crash, repeatable pattern, I'll be terrible art, the seasonal hazards, baby.
Ready? Okay, right, we're at the top of Woodbury Hill and we found the message board, information board about the Clubmen that met on this hill on March the 5th, 1645, and sadly it's all washed out. You can't really make it out. You can make out the Woodbury Declaration and they met here, and the charters here. You can just about make the charter out, but all the rain's washed it out. So what I do is just say they met here on March the 5th in 1645 to 1,000 gathered here. Charles Knott spoke to them. He was from Shelsley, I think, and he spoke to 1,000 Clubmen here, the Declaration. And the Declaration states, you can just to make it out, it says to preserve and uphold the ancient and just privilege of Parliament and known lords of this kingdom against all arbitrary governments which shall be endeavoured to be introduced and put upon us under what pretence soever, and retain our property of the subject by protecting and safeguarding our persons and estates by the mutual aid and assistance of each other against all murder, rapings, plunder, robberies or violences which shall be offered by the soldier or any oppressor whatsoever. And it's about taxation again, and it has the resolutions, and at the bottom it has the desires, which is pretty similar to the one that was at Dorset. But it's just great to see an information board up here. We should get one on Hambledon Hill.
We should. That's our next thing.
Yeah, definitely. But this one needs some work, and it's a shame because there was obviously some really nice graphics here, and there's a banner and there's some people standing here. But you can just make out the declaration, which is good. The curiosity why people would see that. Clubmen Declaration on the 5th of March 1645. And remember, check out the website, Clubmen 1645, work in progress, and we'll put a little bit of pressure on to get one of these boards on at Hambledon Hill, I think. Yeah.
Bit of pressure, bit of fundraising.
Bit of fundraising, bit of pressure, but we need somebody to stand up here and read this out. And we need 1,000 actors or something to reenact it. That's the way to do it. So we need to fundraise. Yeah. But it's nice to get to the top of an ancient hill fort again, and it makes you wonder why they kept marching to ancient hill forts, really. Yeah,
because you've got to be pretty sturdy, actually, you know.
Yeah, fit.
Pretty fit.
Yeah. I'm not unfit, but no. It's pretty knackering walking up here.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, why did they keep going to the top of hills then?
Because it would exclude people who couldn't manage it, actually.
Yeah, but...
the worst bit's going back down. It's quite steep.
It kills your knees walking back down.
It's quite steep at the bottom, isn't it?
It is.
I was a bronze retriever, asleep at the door, dreaming of other dreamers, tongue on the floor. Let's meet on a lazy river and go with the flow. Take mornings to reconsider and nights to repose. So each day we wake and play on a prettier plateau.
We're still on the top of Woodbury Hill, and I just want to encourage people to come out to these places because this is the sort of thing you find. Things like this, just exploring these ancient hill forts where all the clubmen gather together. I mean, people go walking in general anyway, ramblers, but I mean, to come up here with a sense of history, what's happened here before, in a Civil War context, is another dimension to those walks. And I think we're on the land here, which would have been the hill fort itself, isn't it?
One of the ridges, looks like, yeah.
But well worth it.
Definitely.
Yep, so there you go. Isn't that nice?
It is, yeah.
Right, we're on the top of Woodbury Hill. I just wanted to show you some of the views here from the top of the hill where the clubmen gathered in 1645, and the views are quite spectacular. Right, so we've come back from Woodbury Hill, where we were talking about the Clubmen in 1645, and I forgot to mention who they handed the declaration into, and it was the High Sheriff of Worcestershire. So we've come down to film the last bit in front of Worcester Cathedral, because we've got one more night in town, and we're here tomorrow, and then we're going off to Stratford-upon-Avon. But yep, they were handed it into the High Sheriff of Worcestershire.